Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. It's Barrel Scraping Dave, April 7th, I believe. Who knows anymore? 2022. And we have an actual shocking quote from Kaitlyn Bristowe. This one, this podcast only has several thousand views on YouTube, or 1,300, I should say, so not mainstream info. But Kaitlyn Bristowe says it feels like a step backwards that the Bachelor producers hired Jesse Palmer. So this is going to be very interesting. And I'm not going to say I agree or disagree. I'll just listen to it first. But you guys are going to like this one, so stick around for this. I'm going to play this clip for you. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. And if you want to be part of a shocking day of content, I'm talking shocking behind the scenes, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. And shout out to Susan. I was having a bad day. Susan sent me a pizza. So I get a notification. There's a pizza at my door. I run in there. And of course, a pizza at my front door. Can you believe that? You guys are all the best. Thank you so much for all the support for the pizza. You don't have to send me pizza. I appreciate the support. Just hit the subscribe button or hit the like button an odd number of times. So Kaitlyn Bristowe was on the Puddles podcast with Andrew Collin. Now, Andrew Collin is an opener for Nikki Glazer, the comedian, and also produced on F-Boy Island, which Nikki Glazer hosted. So he knows a little bit about the world of dating reality shows. So let's hear what Kaitlyn has to say about producer manipulation. And like I said, stick around for the end of this clip. It's fascinating what Kaitlyn says about her time as host on The Bachelorette.
Hosting it. And, I work on F-Boy Island, which is similar people that worked on both shows. So you kind of see now, like, what goes on behind the scenes more than ever. Mm-hmm. Looking back at your time on the show and how you thought you did and how you thought it went and how real maybe you thought things were, now knowing behind the scenes, do you see your past in like a whole different light? Like
completely. Completely. I thought as soon as I had a little peek behind the curtain, I was like, huh? I was so thrown off because I was like, y'all just watch me like every single step of the way. Like you probably heard me going to the bathroom. Like you were right there for everything. And even at times I thought I was alone. Like you were watching my every move to manipulate something to go along to your plot line. Like it was never about me finding love.
And when you find that out, gosh, it's like French kissing your mother. You're just like, what? You know what I mean? She's on the show. She goes behind the curtains, if you will, the Oz curtains, and she sees all the levers being pulled, and she goes, this isn't about love. What is this?
And it was like really sad, but also I don't know what I expected. Like it was sad, but I also was like, I mean, yeah, it's a freaking TV show. I mean, of course there's producers and people all behind it, just like watching your every move because they're like the puppeteers. They got to make the show work for what it is and get the ratings. And like,
can you believe that no one's shared this with me so far? This came out over a week ago. Like Kaitlyn's not spilling tea. Kaitlyn's spilling the rosé wine.
I remember looking at Sean at one point when we were like on our last date before getting engaged. And he was like really torn up about producers and people manipulating him. And I was like, they are my family. Like these people want what's best for me. And now I'm like, you poor little fool. But I needed to be that naive and that stupid to go through that to get to where I am now. Like I had to.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like not your stupidity, but being naive makes good TV because you go with the flow. And the flow is the show of what they want to see. So in a way, it's like if you're questioning, you're not a good soldier. Then you're
exactly. You want to like please them too because they're all you know at that time, and you don't want to make bad TV. And you're like, well, if this is working, great. I'll do whatever you say.
Well, there it is, folks. Do whatever you say. Probably. Yeah, because we mentioned this with Clayton, right? I'm out of breath. We mentioned this with Clayton where he's like, look. You want to do right by the ladies, you want to do right by you, but you want to do right by the producers because the producers are in your ear saying, hey, make good content. They're going to love it. You don't want to be the boring person. So you feel this guilt about saying and doing things that would otherwise be way out of your comfort zone.
Like what made you last on the show all the way through? Like it's one of the, keys is just kind of, my sister has this huge theory behind, The Bachelorette and it's just don't get involved in the drama. You have to just, mind your own business, and that's how you make it through.
Yeah, but here's the deal, right? Don't get involved in the drama, mind your own business, what does that turn you into? A forgettable character, and then they don't bring you back. So, G. Easty in our Patreon comment section says, if my contract was up and I was thrown to the curb, I'd be spilling all the tea too. Glad she can tell her truth. And I don't think Kaitlyn is saying anything super egregious. Again, stick around. She's about to get to the Jesse Palmer part. She's not like bitter about it. She's had a ton of opportunities, but she's like, oh, I get it. Okay, I understand what's going on. Yeah, I don't need this.
Yeah. And I kind of did that. Like for what it was, like I got along with everybody in the house. There's only one girl that I didn't get along with, but nobody got along with her. Like she was just a terrible person.
Who is it? Tell us.
But other than that, I don't know. I got along with everyone. I didn't get really involved in the drama, and I kind of just stayed in my lane, and it worked out for me. But I also really believed that going on The Bachelor was much different from being the Bachelorette. Being on The Bachelor was so fun. Such a great experience. I was just friends with everybody, just going through free drinks. Great. And just going through all the steps. And then as the Bachelorette, I had a little taste of what making TV was like while also trying to find love. And then hosting, I was like, oh my gosh, this is strictly about a television show.
Wow.
Okay, got it. Noted.
Oh man, all that.
Being part of it though, it's like the host, because I didn't feel like I had a producer role. I didn't feel like I had to be anything but myself and give my best advice. I didn't feel like I was manipulating anything.
Did you feel like you wanted to pull any of the contestants as I forget the name of the girl. I watched some of where you were the host and just pull her aside and be
they know nothing.
This is what it is. Because you've been on both sides. So
I did want to, but at the same time, I thought about what it would be like if somebody pulled me aside and did that, and it would just mind fuck me even more. I feel like if I took her aside, I would be doubting her decisions and making her question herself even more. But then I feel like I would get in her head. You kind of
Kaitlyn, you're not part of the solution. You're part of the problem. No, I get it. You're a company man. You did what you had to do. I get it.
Have to go through that process, and nobody can prepare you for what that show's going to do to you. Whether that's a good thing or bad, no one can prepare you for it.
And this is what kills me. Everyone who's been on the show says no one can compare, nothing can prepare for what you're about to go through. And yet, every single season, the whole audience goes, well, I would have done it differently. Can you believe he did this? I wouldn't have. Well, might as well. And it's like, you don't know how you would do, okay? You get stressed out, the proverbial you get stressed out at a Starbucks when they put too much simple syrup into your macchiato. Don't tell me how you're going to do when 20 people are like, hey, what about me? What about me? You're going to lose your mind. You're going to Claire Crowley it all over the place.
I wanted to so many times, but all I could do was give her my best advice.
Yeah, being a host producer on F-Boy Island, which is, I kind of think it's like Bachelor meets Flavor of Love.
This other lady has nothing to say.
It makes fun of itself, which that's why I really like the show. And we make fun of the contestants. I write a lot of roast jokes for these big meatheads that I've probably never been made fun of, or at least they put a kid in the locker if they did. But they end up actually being nicer guys than you think. But anyhow, we laugh at it and we're making fun of it and the drama of it. There's still drama, but it just feels like the Bachelor and the Bachelorette really it's just kind of boring in a way, of the sense of if one person is kind of crazy, it really sticks out because everyone else is so on edge. I just feel and the idea of you're going to get engaged at the end.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the whole comparison, right, with F-Boy Island and other dating shows, is that The Bachelor, they put everyone in suits. They try to shine up all these people. It's that's a bro who has never put a suit on in his life. The tie's all messed up. He's got one thing tucked into his. He's like, what are we doing here?
Serious.
Yeah, it's so serious. And I think that's probably why they did F-Boy. They're what's the complete opposite?
Yeah, it's because there was one of the executive producers from Bachelor did F-Boy Island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like Bachelor in Paradise so much. I feel like it has the ability to poke fun at itself and make jokes out of it, and having the rotation of funny hosts coming in and people it's fun to poke fun at, where a Bachelor and Bachelorette, you're oh, this is serious.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe it's just mind numbing in a way. People like that. People don't want something too funny. I think they want.
I think people like consistency, and The Bachelor's been the most consistent show on TV for however many,
True.
like 20 some years.
True.
And the viewers that are the ones that are so loyal are the ones that like consistency, and they like to feel safe in their own home watching other people screw up dating.
True.
Yeah, it's like going to Chili's and they screw up the food, but it's consistent.
But it's consistent. Yes.
It's consistent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blue onion.
Exactly.
So recently it came out that you're not going to be the host this
Here it
coming
comes.
year. They gave it to a football player.
Jesse Palmer.
Unbelievable. You know, another jock wins.
I know. Gosh. What about us?
Perfect hair and blue eyes. I've seen him. I actually got my hair cut next to him one time, and I was like, "You gorgeous."
Did you really?
Yeah, this guy Jesse Palmer.
He's so good looking. Look how white his teeth are. His teeth are as white as a Canadian census. Right, folks? Okay. All right. But again, he's not just some football player, just like Nick Vial says, oh, we're going to give it to some guy who just commentates in the NFL. He's had a baking show. He's got plenty of experience. Sure, is he, I got dog hair in my mouth last time I picked a dog up. Either way, I don't want to negate what he's done and accomplished.
He was a football player that played for the Gators, actually. I'm from Florida. What long story. Yeah, we go. So how did that come about? And like, is there any like feeling that you might come back, or is
I don't know. I'm curious to see how people react to this next season, because it just feels like a step backwards for the franchise, because when they let go of Chris Harrison, that was a really bold move. And it was for the show to evolve and change and move forward and be a little more aware of the times and show that they're putting in the work. And that was a big move to fire Chris Harrison. Talk about consistency. He's been the face of the franchise forever. And so I was excited.
The facelift of the franchise.
To be a part of that change. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to have women host. And
for 2 years.
Yeah, for two seasons. Yeah.
We're counting the days. Jesse, be ready. Like a backup quarterback.
I know.
Like, be ready.
He was on the bench, just warming it up. And I guess we were the bench warmers, actually. Now.
Oh, that's so funny. She's so funny. She's so funny.
Starting. You got the starting role.
Yeah, and then you got pulled again.
But yeah, I thought it was just like so great, and they were having more producers of color, more leads of color, bringing women into hosts, and I was like, yes, I'm into this. And then it was like, actually, we're going to go back. We're going to pit two women against each other and have a really good-looking white male athlete that looks exactly like the Bachelor.
So if he wasn't good looking, if his jawline wasn't chiseled and made out of marble by God himself, if that wasn't the case, by the way, do we have the same ear? Oh man, boy. Oh yeah, I got it going on when I have the same earpiece as Jesse Palmer. Very nice. Anyway, okay. So we're gonna persecute him because he's good looking or white? What are we gonna do here? Now I get the point. I know they thought they were making progress, but again, I don't know. I don't know what their contracts say. I know obviously it's like does a guy not get a chance to be employed? I know. I understand. It's you walk on thin ice when you talk about these types of things. I totally get it here, but like. The guy's qualified, and the guy did a good job.
Host now, which I will say, I love Jesse.
Let me ask the comment section of the Patreon, because we're making this live on the Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Can I ask the comment section, should they not go with a white guy? I mean, be honest. I mean, obviously I'm seeing this from a guy who's like, Jesse Palmer, isn't he just trying to succeed in Hollywood like everyone else? Obviously it's not his fault that they hired him, but what should they have gone for the women for Bachelorette and a guy, I don't know what the other option would have been, maybe they didn't want to pit Kaitlyn Bristowe against Tayshia. So they didn't choose either one of them because we know that would have been a disaster if they had to choose between one and the other. I don't know.
I think he is one of the nicest people because he's Canadian. So obviously he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Sorry.
And I love him. I think he's so qualified. He does a great job. He's exactly what the, franchise would usually have.
Okay. So he's so qualified. All right. Case over. Done. Send it home.
And I think he should 100% be hosting. I just think a woman should host The Bachelorette and a man should host The Bachelor. I think that just makes sense to me, but I don't work in the TV industry for as long as everyone, and I think they wanted a consistent host. And
then Brittany in our comment section says she likes him for Bachelor and Kaitlyn for The Bachelorette. I don't know. I mean, yeah, We'll have to see how he does with Kaitlyn, with Rachel and Gabby. I think he'll do good. I think he tried to stay out of Clayton's way, but I think he's trying to do like less is more. Don't make it about him.
And I get that too.
So the show is the Bachelorette that he's hosting. It's not the Bachelor, right?
And by the way, Kyla just says, I don't think they should not go with a white guy, but I would have liked to see Kaitlyn get a shot to host solo. I completely agree. I would have loved to see Kaitlyn get a season to see what she's all about.
Both now.
Okay, he's doing both now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting when like a company goes woke for like 2 years and they're like, no, we're good. We're good people.
Yeah.
We're really good. And by the way, is it over yet? It's cool. Okay, we could be assholes again. Okay, good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could come out. It's like putting like something on a
Well,
show.
okay, so it makes perfect sense. Kaitlyn says she understands that the show's all business. She understood that. And now she questions like why they would go backwards. And you go, well, because it's all business. And I'm not saying that they should go backwards. I'm just saying they saw a show that they didn't want more change. By losing Chris Harrison, and they had so much different change. So from a secure standpoint, they were like, what's the most sort of like white bread thing we can do? Well, Jesse Palmer's young and good looking, and he's been on the show, and this and that, and who knows? I don't know. I'm not here defending Jesse Palmer. I am excited to see how he performs, but I do agree with Kyla. I think it was Kyla that said that Kaitlyn should have gotten her shot. But then you go, well, shouldn't Tayshia get a shot? Shouldn't Kendra get a shot? I don't know. Shouldn't everyone look under your chairs? You get a shot to host the show. Everyone just got like one line. I personally thought Kaitlyn crushed it on the live performances, which is where the host makes all their bread and butter. Some didn't. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. Let me know what you guys think, but very fascinating stuff from Kaitlyn Bristowe talking about stepping backwards. Step your finger onto that like button. Join the Patreon right there, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye, everybody.